I was just telling Charlotte how much I enjoyed this series. I was telling her I sat down to watch maybe 2 or 3 episodes just to get a hang of things. And I ended up binging the whole series in one sitting.
Can you believe
And my husband kind of was like, "Are you okay?" Like, when you do, especially they're not short episodes.
like, just bring me food.
I was like, "Oh, I'm great.
I'm dehydrated."
I told everyone I know about it, and I'm just so excited.
I'm like, thank you.
Congratulations. Truly, this is just going to captivate so many people. And it's also a testament to your stunning performance, Bella. You've given us a beautifully complex character, Andy. And so thank you.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I feel like Charlotte gave me that character and I can give it to you. But I felt the same way. We were sent the first 4 episodes to watch, to do press, and I just smashed them.
Yeah.
And then was desperate to see the next 4, and I was like, I really need them for press purposes. But I just wanted to know what happened. And I'm in the show. It's the first time I've been able to watch and enjoy a show that I'm in and not just be, kind of obsessively critiquing myself, although that happened at times. But yeah, I'm right there with you, Meg. Like, I was so into it, and I hope.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Yeah, I was surprised they gave me all 8 episodes. I was like, damn, all right.
I'll take it.
I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's get into it. I think that I was telling you earlier, Charlotte, that this is such a thrilling story, and that no matter who you are, where you are, you're going to want to go on this ride. But at the core of it, it's about a mother and daughter and the complex, almost undescribable, but beautiful relationship that is, that I very deeply and personally related to. So I want to ask you why it was important for you, though, to show how a mother is so protective of her daughter. She wants her daughter to be happy. She wants her daughter's happiness to come first, but you show us also the different side of that coin, how a daughter is also hungry for her mother's happiness, for to see her mother be settled and to feel safe. And you kind of really play with that struggle that these 2 women have, because their intentions are so good for each other, but they're butting heads because they're not understanding that each other want the other person to be happy as well.
I kind of just feel like that's real life, that, you have it's such a simple thing. This person is so primal in your life, but yet for whatever reason, it's just so hard to communicate, and so hard to be close sometimes. And I think when you're younger, we all imagine our parents are like, they existed the day we were born, didn't have this other life. And I feel like it's this amazing kind of metaphor for just the process of seeing your parents as human beings, and then what that does to you. And then once you see them as humans, then it's easier to somehow go like, I like this about you, and I'm going to take this on. Maybe this thing I don't need, and that's okay. You have a more measured, kind of compassionate view of them, and like all the stuff they went through, and like their secret love affairs, or like the thing they wanted to be that they never became. And I love that this story kind of looks at that in this crazy heightened thriller way.
Yes. And my favorite scene of the whole series was when Bella, your character, Andy, sits in front of the old school TV and puts in the, tapes of her mother playing the piano. And she just is stunned, and she has such a beautiful emotional response to it. And it's like, wow, I've never been able to connect with my mother as an artist. And this is something that was so essential to Andy's being. And she felt so misunderstood about it, and never knew. And the pain that she never understood that pain her mother was carrying, that she couldn't share this with her daughter. Oh, I have chills thinking about it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, there's so many complexities to their relationship, and something I really love that that Charlotte touched on, because we see Andy and Laura in flashbacks, you know, when she's criticizing her, like, you have no idea. Also that thing about you know, teenagers, when we think that we know better than our parents and they just don't know anything about anything. And when Laura's talking to her about, you know, my life, contrary to what you might believe, like my life didn't begin the moment you were born, and Andy's kind of like, I know, but maybe she didn't know that, you know. And the arc, as you see them at the end, like through all the trials and tribulations and all the challenges that are thrown at both of them, it's like they have this opportunity to build a relationship as two kind of equal adults, and to have that moment where Andy really is like, what do you want, you know, to see your mother as a person. And that begins with when she's watching those videos, to see her mother as a sexual being and as a creative, all those things that she had not ever thought of before.
Yeah. Oh, so beautiful. And true, let's talk about this idea of identity as well, because, you know, we should, as human beings, be allowed to create our own identities. And I think a lot of this series explores how others try to identify us as women, as, you know, again, it's so layered. I would love to hear from both of you how identity plays a huge part in this series, and Bella, how Andy's journey kind of towards self-discovery in a way shapes and redefines her idea of identity.
I feel like not just her journey of self-discovery, but in learning about her mother, because there's something about when you're a child and you don't have all the information about a situation, but you know something's not right. I think it's pretty common for the child to assume it's their fault, their responsibility, they did something wrong. And Andy's carried that with her whole life, and it's played into her self-esteem, it's played into her relationships with people, it's factored in every facet of her life. So as the show progresses and as she's kind of presented with all these challenges and all this new information, and she doesn't even have time to process it before the next thing comes on, but by the end of it, I feel like she's really gained a sense of self in learning about her mother. Not just in learning about her mother, but also in realizing that she can face these challenges. So it's like she gets this sense of self and self-esteem through the course of the show. And I just think it's really incredible that her sense of self, her identity, is so interwoven with learning about who her mother really is, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's fascinating because when we first meet Andy, she's like, I think so many women, you know, I'm in my 30s and I suffer from this of feeling not good enough, not accomplished enough, because, you know, of course, the fake timeline that still exists in our society. And then what's so clever about this show is that, like you mentioned, Bella, Andy's thrown into this situation where she doesn't, I think, like, she's even processing as she's going how freaking resourceful she can be, how, you know, you hear this word badass and you hear these words like empowering thrown around so much, but this, like, we really truly see kind of a woman's journey toward that, of like understanding your self-worth in a way of, you know, seeing herself react in these situations and seeing how strong she is and how capable she is. It's really beautiful to see the journey that she goes on.
Well, that's also what I feel like Charlotte did so beautifully, because it's a huge, like, what Andy achieved, what each of the characters' arcs achieve. But it felt incredibly grounded and real. And if I myself found myself in this situation, I can imagine that I might respond in the same way, you know, like the lengths someone will go to find out the truth when there's no other path available to them. But it's like this toad in the pot element of, you know, it's like this slow build. It's not like all of a sudden Andy's just like some ninja agent, you know. It's just like each thing happens is so grounded in reality, and that just slowly builds into this huge achievement.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Charlotte, you're a genius.
I nod to Karen Slaughter. You know, she wrote a really good book with a great, you know, premise. And I just really fell in love with Andy on the page. And I think one thing that I love about the character is she has such a sense of humor about herself and the world. And so even though while she's going through this insane adventure, she has a kind of self-awareness and like a buoyancy. There's just something life affirming about her that I really love. And I think you need in a story like this, because there's a lot of darkness in it. And you just feel like, I remember like the end when I see Andy and Mike sitting on that boat, like on the path, I'm like, oh, they're going to be fine. Like they're resilient. It's like very cheering and funny. Like I didn't realize how much I needed that scene. Like, oh, okay. Like it doesn't, whether they're going to be together, it's almost beside the point. There's a kind of life affirming thing coming out of both of them that they have that's kind of joyful. And in a way, I think Andy kind of gives that to her mother. I think her mother kind of has lost a little of the will to live slightly, or she's just kind of existing. And I think Andy's demand for the truth kind of sparks something, and back into her mother to sort of go like, oh, I do want things, something, it is worth trying to sort of be free. I think it's a huge gift that she gives Laura that's you sort of can't underestimate. But.
Oh my gosh, yes. And y'all have given us a gift. You've given me a gift. I think I can't wait to share this with my mom.
Oh, that's nice. That's lovely.
Yeah. And I think that it's going to create so much conversation, especially between mothers and daughters. It might even share the smallest little fact about themselves that might not be the same as hi, we're in witness protection. And,
yes,
hopefully not. It could just be like, I hate bugs. I don't know. There's something where it's like,
no, I know it's all these details become so precious.
Exactly.
All these, they really do.
Exactly. And like you said, I think it all comes down to like humanizing our mothers. And I think our mothers spend so much time and effort protecting us, their daughters from the world. And it must be difficult. I myself am not a mother, but I can sense that it's difficult of when to sort of drop the curtain a little bit to reveal, to when to be like, all right, I'm still protecting you, but I'm going to look at you like my equal. And I think like this show explores all of that again in such a thrilling way. But it's just the way you've interpreted this, Charlotte, is just so delicate and with such grace and grit, truly. I'm just so excited. I would love to finish. I like to ask this question of what did this whole journey, Charlotte, for you? It started with this book and Andy, I'm sorry, Bella, it started with you, playing Andy. What did this experience teach you most about yourselves?
I really felt this, my mum died when I was 12 from cancer, and I really felt that through this story, I found, like, through like Andy and Laura's relationship, I found a real catharsis, like conversations that I would have loved to have had with my mum that I, never had the opportunity to. And that was like an unexpected kind of gift of the show. And then I also just learned that I freaking love this story, and I pray that we get a second season.
Oh gosh,
because it's just like this, like in the way that the job was kind of like life affirming and career affirming. It was just the greatest job I've had.
Oh, Bella, thank you so much for sharing that. That's beautiful. Thank you. What about you, Charlotte?
We threw everything at Bella that we could, like. Bella's like strangled and thrown under cars and turned upside down.
She goes through the ringer.
Like practically burned to death and like stalked, and it was just like throw everything at her. But like, you're still standing. It's great. I would say
glowing like a wild.
Yeah, no, really. So I would kind of say the same thing. I think I wrote this because I was adopted, and it's kind of, my birth mother went through a lot of struggle to give birth to me and to put me on the earth. And it's kind of my I've tried to honor her with this. We have a complex relationship, and it's really like, I can't even articulate. It's so like, it's beyond words, because when someone goes through like this, the act of being a mother is such a primal thing. And she had so much of a struggle that I kind of want to say, like, I did this for you and it's okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
So I think
absolutely
we
honored her.
connected on that with like
Mhm.
that it's our mothers are very much in our minds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a love letter. It's truly a love letter to mothers, mothers in every capacity. And thank you so much for, like I said, the gift that you both have given us. And it will start those conversations. And I think that, yeah, this show better get a freaking second season and a third, because I mean, like, we binged it in one day. So that's all I can say.
We better get on it now.
Season 2, I want to like take a little bit of maybe a little more time, but but thank you so much to the both of you for your honesty, and you're truly both such inspiring women to me, and I'm sure to many others. So thank you.